If your favorite dessert is tiramisu, then you should only eat tiramisu all your life long. You shouldn't lurk into some lemon pie sometimes. You should be all your life loyal to mascarpone. This is pretty much how exclusivity appeared to me for a long time. The concept of polyamory, as fashionable as it has become, thanks to the tremendous progress in humanity, actually dates back to very ancient times. Zeus himself, that tireless emotional quadruped, was buzzing around mortals. Europa, Leda, Io, Semele, Danae, Ramses II, who had more wives than pyramids, was keeping an open logbook of his multiple affections. So yeah, polyamory is not a trend at all. I'm very sorry if you thought that you invented something, that you were very fashionable. It's as ancient as desire. It's as modern as confusion. So I think I'm gonna do 2 chapters. First chapter, why polyamory is the best system ever for love relationships. And I had a vision because I have a little horse there, and I thought it was moving. I think I need some rest soon after this video. So I think I'm gonna do two chapters here. Why polyamory is the best system ever for love relationships. And second chapter, why it's the worst system ever. So maybe some people can see if it resonates with them or not. First, because love cannot be contained. Love is like a bird. It's happily flying free, and it will be miserable in a cage. Because love is the core of the universe. Therefore, it's in expansion. Example, I love you so much. Therefore, I love the fact that you're happy in life. So if you meet somebody that brings joy in your life, I will be joyful too. Go for it. Be this free bird. And if you come back to me later, I'll know that it's out of freedom and not out of convenience. And it's from your total freedom that you'll choose to come back to me too. And you can have as many lovers as you want, because I love your happiness. Isn't this a beautiful utopia? I think some people can live it. I've personally experienced it, and it feels very nice. But I'll tell you in the chapter 2 why it's only a utopia for me. Which brings to idea 2 is that we cannot really control our emotions. And I cannot control my own emotions, so how can I control other people's emotions, We cannot really control the spark we feel when we are in contact to another soul. We cannot really control our hormonal cocktail that is happening when we meet another body, another person. Well, we can try to control it. We can shut it down. We can try to avoid situations where we would feel triggered, but we cannot prevent it from happening in the first place. 3, love is a question of multiplication, not subtraction. The love I feel for somebody doesn't take out the love I feel for somebody else. If you're a parent and you're having a third child, you won't cut your heart in pieces to be able to love everybody. The love that you gave to your first child won't be subtracted to give. It multiplies. You just make some more space for the second child, and it's infinite. It's in never-ending expansion, because our love capacity is endless. Chapter 2, why polyamory is a beautiful utopia but is impossible. First, because I think, I didn't do the little disclaimer, which is, of course, these are my opinions, and many people have different opinions, and it's great, it's beautiful. That's the richness of humanity. So I'm not telling any truth here, I'm just talking about my little window of experience. So yeah, jealousy, I think that jealousy is part of humans. It's very natural. You see it all over the creation. And I think we have such a big instinctive part that it's normal to feel jealousy when somebody approaches your chosen one. Of course, in small doses, in bigger doses it becomes a poison, but it's very natural to feel jealousy. Secondly, I think that polyamory works very well when everybody is quite secure, has a great self-esteem, is quite fulfilled in their life. But as soon as we are a little bit more down, depressed, things are not working so well, we feel, we all have wounds, and it opens up in certain occasions. And there it's quite difficult to keep this openness that is required in polyamory, this non-attachment thing. And I really feel at this moment we begin to compare ourselves, to compare to another person. We'll feel, if the relation begins to be less harmonious, we'll think, maybe it's because I'm not enough. Maybe it's because the other person brings better things than me in the relationship. Maybe the person is younger, more beautiful, more interesting, etc. So we'll begin to compare ourselves, and it will drag us down probably. And I've experienced this myself, that it was working. It worked very well for 3 years, when more or less, I really worked on my jealousy. I really tried to love totally what the other person was experiencing, and for myself too, to allow myself to go with my heart when it was cold somewhere. But when the other person was triggered for something, or if I was triggered, it would end up with endless talks about how to deal with it. And I feel it requires so much communication already, so much clarity about ourselves to be able to be in a great relation with somebody. So when you multiply the members of this system, it's like it's a full-time job. You just spend your life trying to make sure everybody is okay, you're okay with what's happening, and to me it's too complicated. Another thing that I noticed is a question of energy. And I think I've been quite not clear about it myself, and I think I was lying to myself. I was trying to make everything go with this theory, because I found that polyamory is a beautiful theory. So I was trying to fit there, to make my relationship fit there. I was telling my partners that everything was okay, that I could be with you one day and 2 days later be with you, and it would be so different, because we would just live totally different things, because a person is like a planet, is like a whole ecosystem in itself, and I would share very different things with different people. But at the end, I feel it was not working. I feel that there is an energy thing going on when you're with somebody. You have like a fusion happening, whether you want it or not. Your atoms, your ethereal atoms mix together. And when you go to another person, it's like you have to take out this overall energy and bring it to the other relationship. And I feel it would end up many times with me being more into one relationship and less into the other one, and it would end up saying, okay, so this is my priority, this is the relation that has priority, and you're the secondary relationship, which is not very nice, you know, to say to somebody, you're you're an accessory, you're not my main love. So, you know, what's the point there? We are about loving everybody, this cosmic love, and you're telling somebody you're under the other one. That's not very nice. I also have to admit that sentences like, you are mine, I belong to you, you are the one and not only in the world, are very nice sentences to hear. You know, they are very possessive sentences, but when you hear them, there is a comforting, warm feeling happening. And this is very human too, I'm sorry. It's theoretically incorrect, politically incorrect, but you are mine feels great. And at the end, I found again for myself that, yeah, you can love multiple people, but when you do so, you don't have this deep connection that you can have in an exclusive relationship, where after time, spending time with the person and knowing more and more the person and opening up little by little, you really get to a point where you can be totally yourself, you can be in your total vulnerability, and there you really have moments of deep connection that to me are impossible where other people are involved, because there you really need to be in total trust, in a environment where you feel secure, where you have this affectuous security. So yeah, at the end, I think it comes back to making a choice. You just have to see for yourself what resonates the most, and there is no better choice. There is no better option, you know. But when you make a choice of a certain type of relationship, you're opening the door to some things, and you're shutting down the door to other things. I was listening to a podcast yesterday where they were talking about FOBO, which is fear of a better option. And of course, you never know if you were unfolding another love story, if it would be nicer or if you would be happier. You never know. You just have sometimes to have faith in somebody and say, okay, I'm gonna go on this path with you and we'll see. And I really feel that today we are afraid of missing the best option, and how would I be happier? And at the end, it's not about with who you are, it's about how you deal with what comes to you in life and how you deal with yourself first. I feel that I always end up trying to find a general wise sentence. And last time I was seeing my latest video and I was thinking, why do I do that? I don't need to. I'm not here to provide wise sentences. I'm not wise myself. I'm not a kind of any Buddhist monk or guru or anything. I think it's very therapeutical to make these videos. I think we are just trying to figure out what we think about life, and it clarifies what we think, you know. But I'm not telling anybody what to do. And at the end, this painting didn't look at all with what I imagined first, because first I wanted to represent really this kind of bliss and harmony, but I don't know, it became darker and darker, and there is this hand here that looks like she's being struggled in a way, and I didn't want to give this feeling of oppression, but it ended up like that, and I had to go on because I was doing Inktober and I had to do the next one. Again, I hope this was not too confusing, and I hope it can maybe help some people figure out if polyamory is good for them or not. And yeah, there is no right or wrong system, really. Everybody has to figure out if it truly resonates with them, and never do that to please somebody else. That's the first thing I should have said at the beginning of the video, but I'm not gonna do the whole video again because I have 78. I'm full of cat hair because I have 78 tarot cards to paint, but that's another story.